We got a game called The Beginner's Guide, and I'm gonna play this war of mine. The basic theme of this stream will just be, pretty much just, I don't know, sad games, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of stupid, honestly. I really shouldn't be playing sad games, but whatever. Anyways, I'm going to, start the game up. Oh, well, I thought I was. Um, so this is a game called The Beginner's Guide, and it's about it's supposed to be about something that somebody's going through something that they don't understand. I don't know. I don't know how to really. It's better off you just experience it firsthand. So, well, I guess secondhand through me, but you know, please make sure audio is on, and it is. Actually, let me turn it up. There we go. Wonderful.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator.
At least he put
I want us
collision
to
on
see
the
past
box.
the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Oh my god, he can jump.
So, it's 2008. Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them.
Hi
He
there,
doesn't put
Alicia.
them onto the
By
internet,
the way.
he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Alright then. um. So basically, what the shit? What was that? Oh, what? I missed a call from Ghost. Okay, I'm gonna go see what he wants. Hey. Hi, Ghost. Well, the game crashed. I'm sorry. That was amazing. Oh. Hello? You're on stream, okay.
What are your OBS settings at?
Oh,
Because my bitrate is at 6,000 kilobits, and I'm redlining.
oh. Um, it's at 6,000, yeah,
kbps.
yeah. Alright, well, I don't know. I don't know, whatever you can... It's really about,
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
it's really about making sure
My name
that
is
it's...
Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you
don't
about
know.
a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met
I'm
Coda
okay.
in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
in the middle of
And mostly it's just
a game.
Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But
Yeah.
what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic
It's
of a
more
desert
story
town,
driven, so
he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the
guess.
level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is
What?
a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its
No.
creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it
No.
kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games.
no.
I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know
Okay, then.
who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and
don't know if
he
he left
never
the call.
releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them,
Oh,
and they
hi.
sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
Hi there,
And
boys.
if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com.
It's a slender.
Okay,
let me
that's about it
stop.
for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
I hope the game
As
doesn't
each
crash
game is
this
loading,
time.
I'll
I
show
don't
you
know
the
why
date
it
that was
crashed.
completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
November 2008. Please don't crash. I'm gonna walk through this, and it better not crash. Oh shit. Oh, okay. It failed to load this. Okay. How are you,
This
Fluffy?
game
I
is
guess.
called Escape from Whisper.
I guess
and
I'm
it's one
alright.
of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Tactical nuke incoming! It's over! Sorry. I could just hear the fucking
You can
tactical
click
nuke.
to fire the gun.
Oh, thanks. Nice sound. But I guess I'm alright.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
I guess I'm
It
alright.
kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Wait, why is E shoot?
For instance, you have this
I'm
gun,
playing
which
H1Z1,
you'd think would
that's good.
indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Okay.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shield evacuation.
You are my sleep paralysis demon. At
I love
Ghost
how you
Waller
can see the bottom
from
of the
Anicia.
universe from this room.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks. Whisper machine status active. Evacuate
Okay,
immediately.
this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Oh, he is. He legit scared.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop
He
the
scared me
beam.
several times.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
No, fuck
Could
you.
give
I
it
know
a
it's
shout?
not. Yeah, sure. Okay, I guess I'm gonna die then.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Well, I'm alive. Oh, fuck. Alright. Huh? Huh?
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an
Loading.
important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes
I
you
love
feel
the
in the face
skybox.
of this
It's-
larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Kinda
I
like
have no
Ghost Wheeler
idea what he was
server.
thinking,
Sorry.
but What's
It's
clear
also
is that
called the
after making
Afterlife.
this,
Sorry.
something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Alright then. The past was behind her. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Oh, thanks. Fucking Michael Jackson ass. But
So
the-
it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment
But say
combining motion
future
and narrative.
prophecy.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is
Alright.
trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Why does the future keep changing? Time keeps on slipping, slipping into the future. Becomes clearer. Oh, she stops and looks, becomes clearer. Okay. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? Wait, what? To confront it.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Alright. Oh. I swear this is like an asset from Unreal Engine. You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet.
Man, that
Please
really
be
sucked.
patient with
Sorry.
me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Hey, that really sucked. Sorry.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in nearly every direction. Okay.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
So he's like a nomadic sort of thing.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Alright. Wonder if I can fall off the... Nah, no, whatever. Walk around talking to people down from pursuing their hopes and dreams. Key in one game unlocks a door in a completely separate game. Players a pair of floating eyes emitting footstep noises.
A room that's
You are the queen,
warm
Destiny.
and nice and
Like
filled with
it's
little
try-
ideas for games.
The button you press to stop the chaos that doesn't work. That's
Coda
me
would
whenever I
often
open
tell
a
me that
packet.
He didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Sharks are trying to eat you simultaneously. Simultaneously, you're trying to eat the sharks. Slither.io? Ready, set, fish. Okay. Oj, napraw. A. Ah. Well.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
It's a lever. That's not a puzzle. Oh shit.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay, I thought I was gonna screw myself over, but alright then. That's nice. So, Coda's making all these games, I guess.
So
and-
that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Alright. Holy shit.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Well, that's an interesting way of thinking of it. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, you are now exiting.
Aha. So,
Oh,
this,
okay.
combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
A great and lovely descent. Alright then.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Streetwise fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Okay.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Ow. Oh crap. Bong. Holy crap, what the hell? There's no falling damage, that's good. So it's like, alright, spiral staircase. So I guess this is like... Music is like creepy. This feels like a liminal space almost. You know how like people like talk about like liminal spaces or whatever. Like this is really no different. Oh. Slenderman? Why does it look like Alcatraz? Oh hi, thanks. Huh. Oh, okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah. Let's skip that. Oh, huh?
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
Oh,
Believe
okay.
me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Alright. That's a fucked up sense of humor, I guess. Oh, here's playable games. They're all fucking one little box. Actually, that's not really a fucked up sense of humor, now that I think about it. It's like making a really dark humor joke. It's more like it, but... Maybe the dark humor is that you're forced to play one game that's split into like 1,000 games. Something like that.
It's the puzzle again. with the exact same solution as the last time.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Alright then. Nope. Nope, fuck that. You there.
Here, Coda begins using a kind
What
of
was up
dialogue
there?
system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Alright. 2. That's the world above. You've been there. This is important. You have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches. One, I guess. I don't know. Again, perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Okay. Alright then. You must think harder. Try hard to remember. This is so important that we get. It is so important that we get out of here. We must escape this prison. Oh, I couldn't read the rest of that, but that's alright. There must be something more. That's not what it said. Okay. Please tell us how to reach the end. Alright. Can you think harder? Alright. Well, I mean, just like, I don't know, use the engine or something. Hello, how did you get there? Is there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here the entire time. Yes. Do you want to know how to solve it? No, I actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? The black space between the doors to be... 2, I guess? I guess I remember that. Not sure. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Okay, then. Well, that was wonderful. That was absolutely charming.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. I feel like I'm gonna get sniped. This looks like
It's a lamppost.
that
Okay,
place.
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's
Okay,
going to
then.
appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He
Alright.
wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Alright. This is fucking creepy. I didn't really watch that video too much, but I remember this video about why source maps are so creepy. It's like, this game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. Oh, well, time to unplug the... Oh wait, shit, I'm streaming. Unless you've seen or left behind other players. Alright then. Why isn't there just a shit ton of, like, notes right here? If we're going on the Mario Maker, there's just a shit ton of Miiverse, like, posts. And if you go to Mario Maker and you just see, like... see fucking terrible, like, nice room, not... You get assholes like this. I mean, of course, the Wii U's dead and all that, and so is Miiverse, but you know what I mean.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda.
Oh.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very
shit.
level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
Hello.
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Alright. This game is no nice.
But it's ironic,
I would
isn't
like it when I
that
could.
in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much. It's because it felt like they let me have that connection.
How'd you get
I
up
felt
there?
as though
Oh, okay.
he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Find fun. I'm king of the world! Alright then. Wonder if you can get over that way and like read them. Like you can like no clip or something. Something like that. What the shit is this cavern? What the shit? Boring. Okay. I can sure you guarantee that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place. And the sailors are looking for it. Who the fuck are the sailors? Hey guys, looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. Need to go to the free factory. Recognize me, please.
No, this place isn't mine. Oh well.
Anyways, alright then. Well, it's a thing. Nothing here, go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. Need other side, door ISO. Door hell open. Open sesame. Make game includes door can open the door. Thanks, okay. Someday I'll meet the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. New room. Do you hear the chimes? Keep it going, don't they? Let's get a rent something. Should I skip over these? I love exploring this. Don't bother. Okay. Welcome. Congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. Alright, when you start typing in Discord and you know when you start typing in Discord and people can see you when you're typing, right? Take my hand, let's jump together. Sure, okay then. What is that? Wait, what are the... This is like... I smell burnt toast levels of commentary. Oh god, these fucking comments. Need someone to talk to. Same here, bruv. I'll listen to the other notes, okay? I'm not safe. Okay. Okay. Thanks. That's fucking wonderful. I learned you cannot fight ethical. Anyways. Well, that's you. Who are all of you? But, you know, you start typing in Discord and somebody goes online for some reason, and now they know that you're typing. So you're like, how do I go about this? Do I just pretend? Sorry, something on the screen. Like, do I pretend that I wasn't typing, even though they obviously saw the, you know,
At the end of this level, we're going to see the
You
puzzle
know,
again.
person
And here,
said this
I'll tell you what
is
I think the
typing.
puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Help. Developer answers,
And
please.
because there's this dark area between
So
the
many
doors,
comments.
a space between
Like and
spaces,
subscribe.
before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Alright then. So many comments. And they're all by Coda. Or the guy who made this game. Or is quote unquote made this game. It's like, holy typewriter. Are you there? Please say something. If you get anything, I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty to talk? Speak. May through June 2009.
Okay, this one is tough.
What? What? Okay then. Okay. Thanks, game.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Yeah. Okay then. That scared the fuck out of me. Oh yeah, they died. Lol. Alright. Is that a well? Is Samantha gonna come out of the well? Or whatever that thing was. Wonder if there's any bugs in the game that you can run into. Like actual game-breaking bugs. Besides it crashing on me when I tried to load the gun earlier, but yeah. Is this what, you know, with all the comments?
See, like, this is it. The whole
Shit.
game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Probably someone inside the well. Oh, nope. Definitely not. Actually, I'm inside the well, or I was. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? In the center of the room. Put a giant hole in the ground. Refrigerator. A refrigerator. Is that how you actually say it? Isn't it just, there's no D? No. I think. Put a fucking hole in the ground, I don't know. Oh. Okay, now what about the wall, along the wall? 10 stove lined up against the wall. Oh. think we should light up this room a bit. Put live Tesla coils in each other. In each corner, I mean. Each other, yeah. Let's put live. There's no D, lol. And a table. You need a table. Tables were invented in 1935. I'm not sure about that. I mean, the modern table maybe, but... I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, that type of table, I mean. They folk.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Expand room. Wait, what? You know, that...
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. You know that comment room? That must be what it's like to be a popular Twitch streamer, just having the fucking chat just go... Especially with all the typewriters. Probably what it feels like to read them out loud. Imagine text-to-speech. Follow the instruction carefully. First, click on this table. Alright then. Oop. Oh. Good. Go over the photo frame, click to turn it slightly. Now, turn the floor lamp in this room off and turn it back on. Alright. Now go to left side sofa. Move it over a little. Left side. Is it this one? I only touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay then. Return. Return the slab. Sorry.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Oh, I see. Alright.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these.
That's kind of fucking...
He really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen.
No shit.
Personally,
wait, what?
I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. What is this? I feel like something's gonna, like, tackle me and I'm going to do a cutscene where it jump scares me. Boo! Sorry. Sorry. It's supposed to be a sad game, not, you know. Boo! Sorry. Sorry. I'm fucking terrible. Guess a collect call from Miss Floyd to Mr. Floyd. Anyways. Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You accept the charges from the United States. You're me? So you're trapped in this prison too.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Okay, I guess 3. feeling different. Some I'm scared I'll get out, and then things will be exactly the same as before. I heard, yay! I heard some fucking, like, soul music or something. Not really the same person now as I was back then. 2. I don't know. Oh, good. So nice to hear. Age just kind of does that, you know? It's hard to describe. Well, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? So he keeps hanging up. And it's a man answering. Okay. Well, he told me it was to be sincere. I mean, it's really illusion of choice, honestly, so... That freed you? How does that work? It will make sense. I guess. Sincere about what? That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape. Okay.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Well,
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
a liminal space, if you will. I'm sorry. See, he keeps hanging up. And it's a man answering.
Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Oh, thanks. Can I jump? Yeah, I can jump. Let me out. Let me out. Fuck that. I have no lonesome hands make lousy homes. I don't want to fucking be alone.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games,
Huh?
including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months
Sometimes
to
you're gonna
create
be
as a
fun.
result.
Strobe. This place isn't gonna clean itself, as far as I know. I'll finish up here. What is this music? I love it. Meantime, could help me please clear the table? Sure. Much nicer. It's the table I want to see. Why don't you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? This isn't the bedroom. Oh. Damn, we had a wild night. I mean, I hope not. But fucking scary. Straighten the rug a bit. Little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? Been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Yes, I don't know. Friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. I really like cleaning my own home. I get some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, speaking of demons, someone put this couch all in a mess. Would you come out and straighten these pillows here? Yeah, sure. Oh dear, looks like somebody spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. Alright. Feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No. That was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you just come do that? Sure. This is about like avoiding the issue. So I check the tub needed cleaning, but you scrub it down as best as you can. No need perfect, we're all just human. Huh? Still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom, so would you put them back on the shelf? Okay. What do we got here? The Orchid
After the
Thief.
intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
These chores never end. Darling, let me tell you something. I'm not your fucking darling. Get out of my boxhead. Whatever work you do, you absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So I want to be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you. Present you wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom. Believe it or not. Trust me on this
All his
one.
work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This
Alright.
was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier, when I said a really cheesy thought, I was gonna say that it occurs to me that that one's house is a little like one's soul. Take care of it, it takes care of you. The one I felt so weird about saying that, it's probably me. There's a bit of truth to it now. Anyway, so
Housekeeping.
let's keep doing this. Books. Please get up the books. Thanks. Just the books in the bedroom, right? Yeah, digesting the trauma is probably gonna spill over the couch a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
It's. I honestly, I had a quote.
But, of course,
to
it
enjoy
can't
this.
last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Okay. But yeah, digesting the trauma, for me, you know, like I had a quote, and let me just paste it in chat for now, you know, but it'll pop up on screen, but this is kind of what I was gonna make this a notification title, and then I was like, oh no, people are gonna think that I'm hyper depressed right now, and playing a game about traumatic stuff, but
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
is there a floating tree?
I really thought that was the point of it.
I think some developers do that actually. They just, instead of items you love at members only prices. Why'd you come here today? Is it to improve your life? Is it to get a better job? Is it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. Become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. Want your friends, people in your life to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who you know is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy.
About halfway
so
through the
easy.
game, the perspective shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. Oh, shit.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Okay, you can choose the grayed out options. On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing. This is all I do. You fucking asshole. Being alone must be awful. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside.
But you've been cold to me.
I love 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Such a fucking wonderful, just a wonderful song. Rest in peace. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself trying to fight. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you... Ew, I'm developing a... Gross. I guess 1. Because... That's the step into immaturity that... Haha, just kidding. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do it as easiest. Do it simplest. Feel it is true. Holy shit, you guys! Something is coming out the back of the room! Look out! Nothing. No one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Everyone run! Run! Okay.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Yeah. Those are flaws, definitely.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Okay. Stage. Oh, it's gonna be a play. Nice. Huh? Oh shit, it's one of those plays too. Like the auditorium. You fucking kill. God damn it. Alright, the performance is being places, please. And this scene you will be playing as me, at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. So spooky. Good, stay right there. One across the room, in this chair, is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello there. Anyways, sorry. Where is the bathroom? Hello there. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You'd actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was absurd, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just in one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feeling of the setting. There are a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them represent the people nearby. I'll talk to her again. Okay. First. Oh shit, it pushes me! Okay. Must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it up all again! Break her out of comms. Conduct personal collect quickly. Okay, thanks. I realize how important this was for me. Never get an opportunity like this. I wasn't riding on this. Everything was riding on this, sorry. I wanna try something. Try stepping back from the stage, okay. This way? Okay. Oh, look at that. strange, like view distance calling. Kind of. Ah, didn't jump scare me again. Okay then. Okay, that.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of
Holy
what's going
shit.
to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Alright then. Morbius sweep. Sorry. Mobius strip. Play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Alright. You know what, actually, I'm gonna do a interpretation of it. I'm gonna keep my eyes closed, but... You close your eyes too, by the way. I'm sorry. Alright, I don't know what's going on. So... I'm just, like, gonna strafe, because I don't know what's going on, and jumping. I have no idea what's going on, honestly. I can barely see a thing behind my eye lids, so... What? What? Oh. Okay. Help, I'm blind, I can't see
You should probably
anything.
open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Thanks.
And there is a solution, by the way.
Please, someone talk to me. Okay. How do I one? Oh, hi. I'm gonna stop it. Speak to someone that is honest. You're dead, not a big surprise. What's going on? Okay. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. Huh?
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
What is this? Well, welcome back to Morrowind. Sorry. Where does this island come from? Oh, hey, we're playing Skyblock from Minecraft. Hello, is anyone there? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. Nothing left to give my work. I don't know. What's happened? Did something change? There's a machine that kept me going, and it stopped. Wait, you're looking for a machine. I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What the fuck is this music? I need to see it, know why it stopped. Okay. I can take you to it, but that's a
If the
problem.
last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative
Guarded by a
frustrations,
difficult puzzle.
this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even.
That's a
and yet
cool detail.
still,
I hit
he keeps
3 and it
making
said
games.
deal still.
He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Deal? Perfect. Come along, I'll show you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was
What
in
do you
his own
think?
little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone
Oh,
outside
wonderful.
of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Can you tell me how to do it? So, first you have to open the door. Okay, now what? I have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now just press the switch here. Ah, that was so
You
simple.
can't talk
I
yourself
can't believe I've
out
never
of
sold it
loneliness.
before this.
It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of
Okay,
your
here we are.
anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
There's no machine here. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Okay. Alright. In-game's effortless. Oh, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
The fuck?
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You may make interrogation whenever you like. Tend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Oh. I see. Man, Coda. What? I saw that. I saw that at the very end. The poisonous game something. I saw that. Holy shit.
And of course, it's the machine.
He stopped. He stopped feeding us. Those people out there. Can you imagine what pain you put them through? It's been so long. Apologize for leaving me. I've seen nothing you're fair. Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. Okay. My followers. It falls on me to deliver the bad news. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Oh, fuck. Hey, it's the auditorium again. Please. Holy shit. Oh. Okay, now I've got a fucking gun from the space game. You know, this actually kind of is actually a little scary because this is kind of...
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Yes, I know, but I don't want to fire the gun. Okay? Because this is... this reminds me of something that's very not fucking good to, you know, happen and shit. So, yeah, I'll just, like, fire up here. No fucking way. Yeah, I don't like this, because this is fucking, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Oh, jeez.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized
He's destroying the
that I would be
typewriters
the one
too,
to
for the
initiate.
comments, the people
Because
that
it would never occur to Coda to start
gave him
actively
feedback and
soliciting
shit.
feedback.
I see.
So, what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
God. And that's why his recycle bin was... Oh shit.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
That's not how it really was. Right? Put down your weapon. Alright. Oh, I see.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Alright then. Tower. I can really tell this is one of those people that self-destructs on their own work. You know, their work is so consuming.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Somebody who's destroying themselves because their work is so ingrained into their
This room
soul.
actually has a maze in it.
Oh shit, what the fuck?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Alright then. Oh, this is the wall from Stanley Parable. Interesting. But yeah, I unfortunately know a few people that have self-destruct themselves in the sense
And to
when
be
it comes
fair,
to
it's not like this
their
is the
work.
first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when I was in school, I feel like that was kind of, part of me, was I was very self-destructive in school. So, and school isn't too far from work, it's doing shit that you don't like. Chores, you know, so, I think I get it. Alright then.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
But
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
alright then.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself. And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean? I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Alright, I have a lot to say after this, honestly. I'm not sure if I should say anything, really.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's hard not to obsess over feeling validated by what other people think or feel or have. Or it's difficult because we value socially being looked higher upon, and it's difficult to take more of an approach of I am satisfied with what I can do for myself. It's hard to validate your own self because we care too much about everyone else's opinion, and we don't look at it as we don't look at ourselves the same if somebody that you spend so much time trying to build alongside yourself, or maybe more than yourself, it's like sometimes we spend too much time doing that, spend too much time building other people than ourselves, and then we end up lost when that person we're trying to build, it becomes distant or cold or just walks away from us. Especially with Dave, some people like Coda, I guess, are... I know this is the exit, by the way. I just want to monologue before the stream's over and done with. Or not stream, but the game. But we focus way too much on some people, and they don't want anything to do with us. Coda wasn't friends with Davey. At least it seems like that, or he was, and Coda was just trying to be friendly, and then Davey took it as more, this is somebody who doesn't want to be praised by this person. This is somebody who doesn't see value in this person. Coda doesn't see any value in Davey. Davey isn't Coda's friend, or Coda isn't Davey's friend, or however I'd say it. Thank you, Anicia. I just feel like I could relate to this personally because there's somebody that I used to know, and I couldn't give up, and I couldn't move past, and then eventually it got to the point where I was too obsessive, and this, it's like I couldn't do anything without knowing that this person is okay, or this and that, and anytime I'd get a text message, like, it's almost like having like a flashback, I guess. Like, I'll hear a message, like I'll hear a text message, and I'll expect it to be that person, even if it's just a fucking reminder call to grab medications or something. And like, this is back in 2018-ish, so that's what I mean. Like, and I would hear the text message and immediately rush and be disappointed whenever it wasn't them. Even if it was Ghost, like, I just would be disappointed, and it's absolutely fucking stupid to be honest, but eventually I had to feel my way out of what I was becoming and literally just get rid of this person from my life, because after a little while I realized that it wasn't healthy, and even though I wasn't happy, I understood that it was just better to let this person go, let this person be who they are, and just let things go and just never contact, and just that's all I can do, because if I were to keep on pulling, I'd eventually break the rope, I guess, and I already feel like I've frayed it too much, that if I were to break it, then it would be really unhealthy and illogical when you look at it, and that's why it's so difficult to to separate our value, is because we're taught to feel that, you know, like I said, we're taught to feel attached and feel emotional and stuff, and it's okay to be emotional, but when your emotions get you to that point that you can't move on from somebody and their your entire life, then that's a life that you're in a sense being selfish, but I don't want to say that because selfish has a bad connotation to it, but you really honestly are selfish for clinging on to somebody so much that they get literally sick of you. It's like eating the same thing over and over again. You get sick of it. And I feel like the person that I knew was getting sick of me, because it was okay that we were friends, but I was too obsessed. And there's you got to make sure that when you do things that you know, you need to understand what emotions are, and they can be really powerful, but sometimes you just have to let things go and treat them how, like, put value into other things more. Be more selfish in another way, you know? Be selfish in a completely separate way, not being selfish in, you know, wanting the best. Be more selfish in, like, I don't care enough because this person doesn't care about me at one tiny bit, you know? And I should not put any more time developing somebody that could not care less about me. You know, and just let's move on. I'll give up on you, and that's all. And we're gonna cut, you know, the bridge. We're gonna cut the ropes and let the planks fall into the water, or wherever, the cavern, the ravine, whatever it is. So, anyways, I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional, but I'm gonna jump in this, and hopefully that's a good point. To end off. Thanks. It's just because, like, I've heard of this game before, and I know a little bit about it. I knew that this ending was gonna happen, but now that I've grown, it's almost like a completely different light. Like, I knew that, Coda didn't like Davy in the end, and I knew some of the twists, I guess, but like I said, as I'm getting older, I've experienced this a very, very similar problem as Davy, and it really hurts on a different. It's really different now. It's easier to understand this more, and I recognize this from the spaceship level, and I, you know, it flies up in the air, and I don't know what happens past this. I just know that. Alright, there. There's a maze, okay. But, that's good to hear, Anicia. Thank you. It's a really complicated life, so it's definitely better to know that somebody's going through the same thing, or can relate, and it's just like how I relate to Davey in a sense, that sort of being too emotional for your own good.
Turn back from this cave.
I'm not sure if this is copyrighted music, but I
Said, let me prove that I'm brave.
Just gonna-
Let me keep.
tab out and mute the game, just because, I hope I didn't miss anything. That's it. That's it. Is there anything else I'm missing? Yeah. Well, it's not bad to be emotional. It's bad to be emotional when you obsess, and that those emotions control you and become who you are, instead of, being it's that saying that life is mostly how you react to it and not what happens. And sometimes that's really true when it comes to like or how other people react to it. Nobody had to throw that rock to destroy the glass, and the person who had that piece of glass didn't need to get angry and fire their rifle at them or whatever. So it's really equal and opposite, only a quarter of the time, maybe less. Yeah, it's really difficult to draw the line, honestly. Because it's a, I don't know. Anyways, I didn't expect me to get, like, because like I said, I knew about this game and I was like, oh yes, this will be sad, but I won't relate to it. It won't, enough to get too emotional. So, fuck. I don't know if I should play this War of Mine then. It's basically it's like Fallout Shelter, or like it's like a side view, sort of like you're viewing into like a shelter of some sort, and you're managing resources and sending people out on this and that. But it's in the style of, in the backdrop of civilians during a war, which, considering modern times, I know that there's people who can relate to this right now. Nothing mentioned. So let me turn the game back on. Game sound. And I don't want to make everything too heavy, to be honest, because it's not a, like, it's not good to make everything so distraught and depressing, because unless that's what you're going for, of course, but I don't know if I should, because if I'm feeling it and I don't like this feeling, then it's like, I don't know what I should do. So let me check in with Ghost, see how he's doing. What is he doing? He's playing the Quarry still. Hey. No fucking way. Mystery Satan, holy shit, he's in the chat. He's in Ghost chat. Damn, that's fucking amazing. I mean, I know him from a long while ago, I guess. Like, this was like a few years ago. Damn, I didn't know. Yeah, I guess he's had some surgeries or something. I don't know. Just do whatever feels right for you in this moment. I mean, at this point, that's a good point. Well, I remember I promised a Red Dead stream a long while ago, so you know what? Let's do that.
Yeehaw, partner!